Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. So it's a beautiful, sunny, windy Wednesday here in our area in Laguna. It's quite cold. Like I said, I don't have a sense of smell. I have this, I believe, a brain defect. I have anosmia. I have a sense of taste. I have my sense of, uh, sense of seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, but I don't have any sense of smell. I have sense of taste, so yeah. But yeah, I can smell in a weird way the breeze of the holiday season, the Christmas season here in the Philippines. Since we're a predominant Catholic country, so yeah, I can feel the breeze, the cold breeze, and right now it's really difficult to dry laundry or wet clothes because of the coldness. But yeah, so hope everyone is doing okay. I am quite ecstatic as well because I believe I'm nearing 700 videos or views for 27 episodes of the Prop and Wrestling podcast. Thank you guys for browsing, viewing. If you're watching completely, thank you. Really appreciate it. I'm grateful. So yeah, today is Wednesday, so it's Tuesday night in the States. It's Thanksgiving week, and it's the second to the last show before the NXT deadline for NXT on CW. So it emanated from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Quite an interesting show. I'll browse through the results first and provide my point of view in a while. So the show started with the Chase U music, bearing from the audience, the live crowd, and people were expecting the Chase U guys, but then again, who came out? Ridge Holland, the one who basically disbanded Chase U last week after beating Andre Chase in a one-on-one match, to determine the number one contendership. And if Andre Chase loses, Chase U disband. And so yeah, and he said it was a brief and short uh opening, and he said, I told you so. Chase U is gone. Then afterwards, uh, uh, the last one-on-one men's qualifier match for the Iron Survivors men's division for next week's Iron Survivor on at deadline. So it's former NXT champion Ethan Page versus one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom. Uh, it's a great match. When this match opened, basically it's an opening match. I'm like, wow, it's good. Like I said, I'll tell you guys my point of view later. Ethan Page won. Afterwards, there's a uh, promo segment. Sarah Schreiber was interviewing Ethan Page. Nathan Fraser, interjected. Then Axiom. Then Wesley came out. Javon Evans came out. Then the tag teams of NXT came out because they're challenging for they want to challenge the tag team champions Fraction, Nathan Frazier and Axiom for a future title match, and a brawl happened, wild brawl. So yeah. Then afterwards, it's a pre-tape backstage segment with Renzi Claire and Charlie Dempsey, and because they're going to have a match, Lola Vice and Renzi Claire happened. Then was won by Lola Vice, and yep, Vice Lola Vice, I believe, is still challenging Jada Parker for a match, and probably at deadline it will be an underground NXT underground match. I guess that's Lola Vice specialties since she's a former mixed martial arts fighter. So yeah. Then afterwards, following match is Sean Spears versus the NXT North American champion, the head of the family, the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. Selling that. knee injury. Eventually he won still, which is, like I said, I'll give my point of view later about this. Um, Afterwards, it was blindsided by Nico Vance. So Sean Spears now have Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance in his corner or in his team. I like Sean Spears as a heel, and I thank God I am a scratcher that you know he's no longer doing the perfect 10 that what he was doing and when he was Ty Dillinger. It's kind of annoying because they were like doing 10, 10. I'm like, does it even mean? It's like the what chants. So yeah. Then yeah, afterwards, there's a backstage pre-tape segment when Andre Chase is packing up the classroom. Somebody called him. Oh, it was Duke Hudson. No, Duke Hudson stopped him, and so I believe they're planning for a different, uh, planning a different. I'm sorry, my kid is crying for some reason I don't know. That's the wind giving him toys to play with. So yeah, uh, like I said, my podcast is authentic. See what I'm doing live, no cuts. So yeah, Duke Hudson stops him. Then afterwards, the last one-on-one women's qualifier for the women's Iron Survivor match at Deadline. It's an interesting matchup. It's Kalani Jordan versus Julia. Great match, hard-hitting match. Julia won, so she's qualified for the women's Iron Survivor match. So she's the fourth qualified superstar. Then there's a backstage segment between Ava and the tag teams of NXT, and not really tag teams of NXT. Yeah, I believe he's part of the tag teams. But yeah, then she told all the four other competitors who lost their qualifying matches for Iron Survivor that they'll be having a wild card match next week, and then at NXT, uh, to be the last person to be qualified for the Iron Survivor matches for both men and women's division. Um, then Eddie Thorpe, Thorpe is having this weird like loose cannon. Supposedly Brooks Jensen was having like a loose cannon type of personality, but now it's Eddie Thorpe. He keeps like weirdly harassing, complaining to Ava until she was like accidentally hit her. Um, because it's accidental. It was an accidental, bro. But then Shawn Michaels, back from the break, Shawn Michaels was checking on Eva. Then Shawn Michaels being like the overly protective dad of NXT, push and shove Eddie Thorpe to like one of those accordion gates. I don't really. I think I mean it is really a serious Shawn Michaels is a scary Shawn Michaels. And I was like, oh, I don't care if he's like 60 years old, but he can definitely kick your ass still. He practices karate. So yeah, according to him, back in an interview back then. So afterwards, the next segment is an in-ring segment when Trick Williams, addressing NXT crowd for some reason. Then Ridge Holland came out. And then somebody appeared in the Videotron. WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff, former president of WCW, host of the 83 Weeks podcast and Wise Choices. I love those podcasts. Always listens to them. Great, interesting thing for him to say. I used to hate Eric Bischoff as a heel, but I loved his insight and his acumen as a businessman. People will say a lot of things about him that he failed at TNA, he failed WCW, but he was still able to to make millions, to give those company chance to to become profitable. Say everything you want if he tried. So yeah. Then yep, next week he will be in NXT as well to have a uh closer look at the Trick Williams Ridge Holland matchup. Then main event of the evening, it's Fallon Henley that is currently the defending NXT Women's North American Champion against number one contender Tatum Paxley. Great match. Wasn't able to to watch the full match of this one. But I'm just listening to a Bluetooth headset, a Bluetooth earpod, because I was giving my son a bath and feeding him as well after taking a bath. Uh, so yeah, Fallon Henley won, retained the title. The Fatal Influence attacked Tatum Paxley, and who came out? The returning Gigi Dolan. So yeah, that's how NXT ended. Kind of weird, but yeah. So point of view, an opinion about this. It's an interesting. I won't even say decent because it's a great show. It's a solid NXT show. Um, Here's what I found it unique. NXT unique from Raw, which is a 2 hour show now until December. Before Raw and NXT. I'm sorry, Raw and Netflix. Then SmackDown in USA for 2 hours as well. I understand the different production and value of all three shows. Maybe Raw and SmackDown are quite similar or even the same since they have Triple H, Michael Hayes, you know, the other production team there. Shawn Michaels has his own team in NXT. But but my observation about this show, this particular show earlier, how how NXT manages to do a fast pace slash slow paced show. I mean, I was watching the first hour and like a lot of things happened, and I felt like okay, that's quite on my mind, but that's quite fast. Because a lot of things has happened. But when I look at my clock, it's like, hey, it's only an hour, so it's hour one, and there are like 5 6 segments already happen in like or no. So I guess it's different. I think Well, I think yeah, Shawn Michaels and Paul Levesque really has two different philosophies in how they run their show. I believe Shawn Michaels has his own uh perspective and power in running NXT. Paul Levesque has his power in running Raw and SmackDown. But there are times that Raw is so fast paced that they're like losing segments or like they're like cutting segments even with SmackDown, if like one particular segment is like overly big or like overly long was break the chain of command and like having a long because they have segments. If you're a wrestling fan for a long time like me, you know that okay, they're timing this for like 10 minutes for a promo segment, but sometimes they prolong it because of especially when you have The Rock or the Bloodline or Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins, when they're like really extending their time. And there are times that a match that's supposed to be like a 10-minute match will be just like 5-minute match. They have to cut the matches. So it's quite interesting how NXT does this, and it's not. I believe it's not even taped. If it's taped, then okay. But the way they edited it, if it's taped, kudos still. They were able to manage it without me even noticing that it's taped. Unlike Raw last week, unlike SmackDown last week. Or no, SmackDown was live, I believe. But unlike Raw, the few weeks back that okay, this is taped because there's like certain nuances per show that it's different. So yeah, uh, that's the reason why NXT is killing it in terms of how you know they promote their shows and program their shows. So yeah, kudos to Shawn Michaels and his team. Shawn Michaels my favorite wrestler of all time. Still, if I'm bored, I'll just put on a Shawn Michaels match and be entertained. Especially Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker WrestleMania 25 or Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle WrestleMania 21. Those are my top two Shawn Michaels favorite matches. Never disappoint. Uh, Even though I watch it for like hundreds of times. No joke. Uh, so yeah. So as far as my other perspective, there's a reason why the NXT Women's Division, is really one of the best, if not the best, women's division in pro wrestling today. Not just WWE, pro wrestling. Don't care if you're Stardom, Marigold, AEW, TNA, GCW, wherever. NXT Women's Division is really killing it, and right now they're on top of the food chain as far as NXT Women's Division is concerned. The Julia Kelani Jordan match. People are saying that Julia should be like promoted as NXT promoted or NXT Black and Gold promoted Asuka way back then. Dominant wrestler, can't be beaten. I mean, she relinquished his title because she was about to be called up and the main roster. She just for 500 days she was NXT Women's Champion. I don't see that in Julia. I think Shawn Michaels is more of like Shawn Michaels has been tagged always as an underdog in terms of pro wrestling, but despite being always tagged as an underdog, he always showcases his talents. And I believe he's doing that with the same with everyone, almost everyone in NXT. So I believe even the women's uh division like, Julia or Stephanie Baker, Cora Jade, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, she's showcasing that it doesn't matter what position you have or what position you had before NXT or before WWE. Let's try this. And Julia, despite being like a bona fide badass as long as with Stephanie Baker, they were like showing that okay, they're not invincible. Maybe Zarya, because but then Zarya when she debuted in that 10 women's, no, high profile 10 women's tag team match a few weeks ago in NXT in the ECW arena, she was even like bumping. So she's like showcasing that despite her being, like the Brock Lesnar of the women's division for NXT, she sells and she bumps around, but she's hard hitting as well. So yeah, I guess that's the difference about the women's division in NXT among other division. They provide good storylines as well. When I saw the NXT when I was watching NXT live earlier, I was like, okay, I don't think a match because I was like Ethan Page versus Action was like the match of the night. I don't think some even like Tony D'Angelo or Sean Spears, I don't think they can match that. Then when Julia Kelani Jordan happened, I'm like, okay, this is the match of the night. So top of my tip of the hat to the women's division of NXT, Shawn Michaels and his team again. But yeah, both qualifying matches are or were actually entertaining and great TV matches even. I was like hinting, okay, is Ethan Page turning a babyface because he after the match he praised Axiom, but I guess it's all egos mindset of stirring the shit between Fraxium. So, but it was like that moment that even like 2 or 3 segments that what, this is great. I have a great match. I will win Iron Survivor. Kudos to my opponent earlier. Kudos to my opponent Axiom. He has the heart of a champion. He gave me a great match. Like Ethan Page turning, he was that convincing that I thought he was like turning to a baby face. So yeah, but then again, I can see Ethan Page having a great future in WWE, whether it's NXT or main roster. I said it to like a few friends of mine. Given the chance, if he's like giving the pull the trigger on him being a dastardly heel, even he could like be the MJF of NXT. I'm not saying I'm comparing their talent, but who can be that type of heel that can incite riots and whatnot. And right now, when he made that comment earlier about Action being like a heart of champion, give me a great match, I was like, I saw a glimpse of a babyface LA Knight. I'm not comparing. It's just like they have similar, traits. He had that similar traits with both MJF and LA Knight. So that's just my opinion. Everybody can mess up around give your opinion, tell my opinion's shit. That's fine. I don't mind. But it's just my opinion and my point of view. So yeah, great NXT match. I'm looking forward to an NXT next week because there are great segments planned. The wild card matches for the both men's and women's Iron Survivor match. The four who lost their four qualifying matches will be in a fatal four-way to determine the fifth member for the uh, fifth participant for the both women's and men's Iron Survivor match at deadline. You can Google who are those people. Also, a battle royal to determine the number one contender for the NXT Tag Team Championship that Axiom and Nathan Frazier will defend at deadline. So if Axiom wins his qualifier next week, he and Nathan Frazier will meet against against or face each other in the Iron Survivor match. But they do also have to defend their tag team championship. So I guess my best guess is that the tag team championship will come in first, then the Iron Survivor match, and I don't know if the breakup will happen because they are like giving this weird tension for almost a year now of are we breaking up or not. Nathan Frazier is actually showing a little bit of heel tendencies, being like a selfish type of wrestler that it's about me, should be about me. I want to have this match, and like almost like But the thing is, when they're in a tag team match, they're always deliver. And I'm thinking of having like pop in wrestling award. I know it's not an official award, but this is just my opinion of who were like the tag team of the year, wrestler of the year, match of the year, women wrestler feud of the year, everything of those probably by December. I know it doesn't matter to everyone. It just matters to me and some of my viewers, I hope. So yeah, that's it. So that's my NXT review or and point of view so far. Nothing really special happened, but it's really a decent show, a great show even, decent to good show. I didn't find it weak. I actually found Raw a little bit weaker compared to NXT. NXT delivered for me earlier. I don't know about sort of SmackDown. SmackDown will be taped for Friday or for Saturday morning here, so who knows, right? So yeah, so we still have a little bit of time before the 30 minutes, time limit for me for a episode. So let's talk about a little bit about WWE business here in the Philippines. So as I said a few episodes ago, a couple of episodes ago, WWE Network is back in the Philippines. Meaning, if you have a WWE app on your phone, you can watch the WWE Network there. If you're subscribed to them, then good. It means that you are able to watch all their programming for WWE Network and everything. And when I said everything, it's everything. For me, like I said, I'm the only show I watch because it's free there. I'm not a subscriber for WWE Network because I've tried to, but says it's unavailable here in our region. It's available but not available, which is a weird dichotomy. Awesome word. But I'm watching like the episodes of the season of Monday Night War between WWE and WCW. It's like an hour program, and it's a documentary by Keith David, narrated by the great Keith David, um, about WWE and WCW. So yeah, I even received an email said that we're back. WWE's network is back in the Philippines. So it's quite a weird, setup right now because if I go onto Disney Plus, still, I believe if I click on Disney Plus and I choose the WWE, content, it's still there. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. Yeah, WWE. See, still there. WWE content is still there. See, you got your Survivor Series, SummerSlam, WrestleMania 30, 39, Payback. It's still there. WWE content is still there. Um, it's just weird that I don't know. Maybe today, maybe later today or tonight, they will announce whether they announce if Survivor Series this Saturday or Sunday here in Manila will be still shown in Disney Plus here in the Philippines. So I don't know. I keep checking on their website. Oh no, well, not website. Keep checking on their Facebook page, their social media pages. It's not there yet. But normally they normally announce it during Tuesday and Wednesday before the PLE. Um, so it's a weird, situation right now whether, is WWE or is WWE will be part of Netflix Asia. Like I said, they announced the international NXT or WWE Netflix, partnership, Latin America, Canada, UK, and some regions in Asia, not including us. I don't even know if Japan, Taiwan are part of that region. I believe China is part of that region, but us, I have no clue. I have inside sources with Disney Plus. I have people who I know who are working there. They won't tell me shit. Still, okay, I understand. It's business. I respect them too much about that. And then like, okay, so what now? And last week, I believe WWE announced that after January 1st, WWE Network all across the board internationally will cease to exist. There's still WWE Network in the States because it's part of their deal with Peacock or NBC Universal that will run, I believe, until 2025 or 2026. So where does this leave us here in the Philippines? It's also weird enough. I mean, I get it. If they want to put the WWE content of just PLEs and documentaries and other original program into Netflix, I totally get it. I would love for them to do it. Um, but the thing is, Blast TV and Tap Sports, who are owned by Signal or I believe owned by the MVP group, they're they're putting heavy advertisement or marketing with their WWE programming. If you look at their Instagram page, you can watch WWE live for free once you download the Blast TV app. Like I said, when they did their like trade shows, one of front and center was Roman Reigns standee or WWE standees. And when I was like watching Raw yesterday, I was like, wow, they're putting heavy effort in promoting WWE programming. SmackDown, Raw, NXT. So like I said, we are in a weird situation right now in between now because there's like almost a month before or more than a month and a half or month 5 weeks even, 6 weeks even before Raw WWE US starts with, their Netflix partnership. It's I find it, uniquely weird. But yeah, I'm all for it. If it's still on Disney Plus, yeah, I'm still a subscriber. Even if like they said, yeah, we will not be showing WWE programming, I will still be a subscriber of Disney Plus. My Marvel fix is there. My Star Wars fix, my Disney cartoons, my Pixar cartoons are there. Some of my favorite series are there. Castle White Collar is there. So I will be still a subscriber. I'll be a subscriber of Netflix because I like a lot. I love Netflix. My dad loves Netflix. Prime Video still. I'm a subscriber of Max now still for the next 3 months because they deducted money from my GCash for the next 3 months. They kept my preview subscription with HBO Go of like paying for like a certain amount, 400 pesos for 3 months. Cheaper. It's cheap. And Max has great content. My DC Comics fix is there. So I don't mind as well. So yeah, it's an interesting business topic in a way. Let's just wait for for the announcement. I wish I could give you some more details, but I'm not be giving much more details and right now. Um, but yeah, let's just wait for it. And yeah, still exciting time for the WWE. If you're a wrestling fan, you should like WWE. You should like AEW. You should like TNA, New Japan. Some of my friends from the Worldwide Wrestling Society page are more into New Japan Pro Wrestling compared than AEW. They like AEW. They like AEW in some capacity, but they like New Japan Pro Wrestling more. But yeah, interesting time, folks. Interesting time. So yeah, that's my NXT review and some business talk about WWE or what's happening with WWE Network. But yeah, thanks for listening, watching, viewing. Thank you. Really grateful for those views. Subscription, just like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatnot. Appreciate it. So thank you for watching and listening to the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. Yeah. Peace out. Yee.